Hey guys, today with the topic, you must always be strong as a man, or show feelings would be unmanly. In today's society you hear rather the opposite. The sensitive man in relationships, who can also cry sometimes and stands by his feelings. I like to protest against such stupid statements, because within a relationship it is trained blue pill behavior and costs you a lot of attraction towards your partner, who deep inside wants to look up to you and be protected, if you exaggerate it. You just don't seem masculine to her. Do you have to force yourself to do this? No, deep inside you should want to become like that. Without the will to do so, you may be acting badly and that is again not an option. But let's move away from the topic and towards the exact opposite. Because here again there are advocates who then think generally not to be allowed to have any more feelings, pursue their goals so hard that they do not allow themselves to have such feelings at all and perhaps even hate themselves inwardly for it, or at least do not accept when they have them or even let them out, sometimes unintentionally. There are situations in life when we feel weak and bad. Sadness, pain, everything seems pointless and we feel lost. Of course you can overplay it, and in certain moments it is more important for you to decide if it is better to let it out now or if you should wait with it. Unfortunately, the longer we hold it in, the more it builds up inside us and the more unprocessed emotions go around inside us. Some people handle it very well, maybe even use it purposefully. But it's very hard, just like dealing with stress. Others become a powder keg that sooner or later let out all that has gathered inside. Mostly when they can't use it at all, and the result is that they not only stand weak, but sometimes downright lose control of their emotions, thoughts and even their body. The so nicely called breakdown is the result. I had one of those last year after the breakup, even though I'm the last person who would say on their own that they didn't let emotions out. But it was simply too much, and despite processing it permanently with all available means and time, the blow of the breakup was too hard. I remember one sentence that really burned itself into my memory as I sat half in fetal position feeling completely empty on the floor. I don't know what to do. I've never seen you like this before. And that was my own opinion too, which only added to the lostness in that moment. Something I wanted to avoid for all the world until I couldn't hold it back anymore. Was that weakness? Yes, absolutely. But the weakness started long before that, by not turning to my emotions and processing them or thinking them through, but burying them deep inside because I thought, screw it, it'll pass. That's just not how we humans function. I react to such things with stress-related migraine. You may react differently. You dream worse, you don't sleep at all, you become more susceptible to stress. And this is not about stress that you get from the outside. Much worse is the one you create for yourself. Therefore, you know my videos on being a serious man. Your innermost being is the point where all the pillars of your life come together and through which you get the satisfaction and peace that you have worked for in your areas of life. This is what I mean when I say focus on yourself. When I say build yourself up and create a foundation with which you are no longer dependent on outside confirmation and attention. Not being dependent on other opinions doesn't mean that it can't still be nice when they come. It just means that you don't break down when it doesn't come, or you don't have to constantly chase it. But I'm getting off topic. You think it's weak to reveal emotions or weaknesses and admit them to yourself or others? What are you doing right now? You are listening to someone who has been where you have been to get help. To get out of it faster than you would be able to do it yourself. To see that what seems so hard to you is possible. You are looking for help, and that is something weak in the eyes of many, maybe even in the eyes of you. You think that you yourselves are not strong enough to do it and that this is a bad thing. But the exact opposite is the case. Realizing that you can't do it alone or accepting help only shows how well you know yourself. You can work on something like that, but at what cost? If at all, you should do it while you are not feeling well. Do you want to walk around weakened in your everyday life for months because your feelings are eating you up inside? Do you want to continue to feel small, according to your self-worth after the breakup? Slowly leave the work to time, which will either push you out or push you back in. No, with the action of admitting your weakness at the moment and not wanting to solve it alone, you take responsibility yourself, and that's what it's all about if you want to see it from the masculinity level. You take responsibility for yourselves, your actions, your strengths and your deficits. You realize that you need a certain basis of energy, appearance, and also strength out there. In the here and now. You realize that you will reach this alone only very slowly again, and the end is not even in sight for you. So you do the only right thing and look for a way to get there. Even if it is not yet through your own feelings. You open yourselves to the possibility of letting everything out and not to close yourselves off or to hold on to old familiar things that felt good in the past. You have to go inside and control yourself again. And whether it's a good friend or a neutral person you need for that, it was your own decision to no longer sit in the victim role you put yourself in. It has to be your decision, otherwise you are not wholeheartedly in it, and it is totally and in the deepest sense about you. Only about you. If you don't stand behind it, then you continue to pretend to the outside world that you are such a crass type. You won't get far that way, and since we just talked about a serious man, this ideal, which you should strive for in order to be really happy as a man. This inner calmness and security is the basis for everything you do outwardly. That means, clean up your inner self first. Example: meditation. When you start with it, sometimes you don't know why. When you sit there, the time passes slowly and the only thing you can think about are distractions. It is the same in everyday life. We feel our feelings and emotions only when they become so strong that we can't shut up or have an emotional outburst. Take a step back, as esoteric as it may sound, search within yourself and don't just clean up your place. Clean yourself up. Learn to deal with it, neither to suppress a feeling nor to take it out on other people. Let yourselves pass again and again in review how certain situations have affected you, and do not see yourselves as the center of the world. You are the center of your world. You are the most important thing for you. You yourselves, and not what you accumulate at possession or how others see you. You are the absolute foundation for everything you do or get yourself out there. And therefore, give yourself the attention you need. Inner strength comes from your work on yourself. And inner strength is what makes you think and act more clearly and calmly, as well as how those around you see you. And now thinking again in the other direction, because many might see an extreme in this again. As men, or even in general, there is no point in running around crying senselessly. And by that I mean not only tears, but also to complain about everything all the time and rumsupfiansen. About people, situations, the so unfair world. Instead, shut up and do something. Change the situation for you, there is always a way. Accept reality as such, think about it and, depending on your character, talk about it with people who know about it, or just shut up instead of telling yourself that there is no way and then go. That is what makes the man. Not that he can't allow feelings. That he uses them in himself to find solutions. Recently written under an comment, which kicks me again and again in the ass: who does not want, finds excuses, who wants finds ways. Take care, and until the next video.